Do you believe love can be stolen? The room is completely dark when Mama Kosi's nails dig into her son's forearm. A candle flickers, briefly revealing Mama Kosi's cracked lips as they brush her son's bleeding arm. Her son stares ahead, empty, lifeless. Oh, yeah, I need more, she hisses, her voice cracking with desperate hunger. Something darker than blood flows between them. A shadow sinks into her skin. Another piece of him, gone. Watching hidden is Amara. Is this the power she craved? Is this what she's becoming? 3 months earlier, Amara stared at her phone, thumb hovering over the block button. Her ex-fiance's wedding photos flooded her timeline. Him beaming beside her former best friend, both radiant with joy that should have been hers. You still torturing yourself with that? Neka's manicured hand plucked the phone away. Neka embodied the success Amara craved. Men are like bosses, my dear. Miss one, catch another. But I loved him, Amara whispered, voice cracking. Neka's laugh was musical but hollow. Love? That fairy tale? Real women take what they want. They sat in Amara's tiny fashion studio, dress patterns scattered across tables, evidence of talent going unnoticed. 5 years designing and still struggling to pay rent. Why am I never enough? Amara's question hung in the air. Neka's eyes narrowed. There are ways, ancient ways our grandmothers whispered about, ways to make yourself unforgettable. What do you mean? Neka leaned close, voice dropping to a whisper. The Oshun society welcomes those willing to pay the price for what they desire. What price? Amara asked. Neka smiled. Come tonight and see. Bring something red. Across town, Tunde arranged photographs on his office wall. Men with vacant expressions, dated from the 1950s to present day. His colleague, Professor Adeyemi, entered with a stack of colonial records. Tunde, this obsession is unhealthy. It's not obsession, it's pattern recognition. Look, Tunde pointed to his research board. Every 20 years, clusters of men in Elisha experience the same symptoms: emotional detachment, fatigue, personality changes. The colonists called it spiritual sickness. And you're calling it what? Magic? Adeyemi scoffed. I'm not naming it yet, but something is happening to these men, and it's tied to specific families with powerful women. Adeyemi's face darkened. Tunde, some traditions are best left unexamined. Your mother would say the same. Tunde stiffened. My mother has nothing to do with this, doesn't she? Why she can't speak of your father? My father abandoned us. Did he? Adeyemi placed a worn journal on Tunde's desk. Your mother left this with me years ago for safekeeping. Perhaps it's time you read it. The ceremony took place in Mama Kosi's compound, a mansion nestled in Elisha's exclusive district. Amara fell out of place among the elegant women who gathered in the inner courtyard, their expensive perfumes mingling with incense. Neka guided her to a circle of women surrounding a clay bowl. Sisters, I bring a new seeker. The women's gazes felt heavy on Amara's skin. One by one, they approached, studying her face with unsettling intensity. Finally, Mama Kosi emerged. Despite her age, her skin glowed with unnatural vitality. Why have you come, daughter? Mama Kosi's voice carried quiet authority. I, I want to be loved, Amara stammered. Love is not given freely in this world, Mama Kosi said. It must be taken. Are you ready to take what belongs to you? Before Amara could answer, Mama Kosi sliced her own palm. The blood dripped into the clay bowl. Your blood now, daughter. Amara hesitated, but Neka's firm hand on her shoulder pushed her forward. The knife's edge stung, and Amara watched, mesmerized, as her blood mingled with Mama Kosi's. The other women added their blood one by one. Something dark swirled in the bowl. Not just blood, but something alive. From our grandmother, Oshun, we borrow power, Mama Kosi chanted. From our sisters, strength. From the earth, hunger. A sweet metallic smell filled the air. Drink, Mama Kosi commanded. Amara's hands trembled as she raised the bowl to her lips. The liquid burned down her throat like fire, then spread through her body like ice. She gasped, dropping to her knees. What's happening to me? She choked. Mama Kosi smiled. The awakening. Now you must feed it. Think of the one you desire. Femi's face filled Amara's mind, the handsome doctor who barely noticed her. Suddenly, she felt something pull inside her, as if an invisible thread now connected them. He will come to you now, Mama Kosi promised. But remember, what is borrowed must always be repaid. The next day, Femi appeared at Amara's studio, looking captivated. I couldn't stop thinking about you, he confessed. Within a week, they were inseparable. He showered her with affection, his gaze adoring when he looked at her. For the first time in months, Amara felt powerful, desired, complete. But at night, strange dreams plagued her. Dreams of feeding on something bright that lived inside Femi's chest. She would wake gasping, a terrible hunger gnawing at her insides. When they were apart, the hunger grew worse. Food didn't satisfy it. Nothing did except being near Femi, touching him, watching the light in his eyes dim slightly when she did. You look tired, her friend Kioma remarked when they met for lunch. And Femi, he seemed different when I saw him yesterday, like he's half asleep. He's working hard, Amara defended guilty. Kioma frowned. Amara, you know I love you, but I have to ask, what did you do? What do you mean? No man changes that quickly. One minute he barely knows you exist, the next he's obsessed. People are talking. Anger flashed through Amara, sudden and hot. You're jealous, just like you were jealous of my designs. Kioma recoiled as if slapped. What are you talking about? But Amara couldn't stop the words pouring out. I see how you look at him, at what I have. You want to take it from me, like everyone takes from me. She stormed out, heart racing. Only when she reached home did horror wash over her. Why had she attacked her oldest friend? This wasn't like her at all. Quick question for you all watching. How far would you go for love or success? Would you risk a deal like this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, back to the story. That night, Neka visited. The first feeding is always the strongest, she explained, pouring 2 glasses. The hunger makes us protective. Feeding? Amara's voice shook. What exactly did I do to Femi? You're borrowing what he has in abundance, his capacity for love. Men waste it, squander it on fleeting desires. We simply redirect it. But I love him. Do you, or do you love how he makes you feel? The question lingered uncomfortably. It gets easier, Neka continued. My husband barely notices anymore. 5 years, and he still adores me, even if he's a bit diminished. Diminished? Neka waved dismissively. Men are simple creatures. They don't need all the emotion they're born with. We're doing them a favor, really. Later, when Femi called, his voice sounded far away, distracted. Amara felt the hunger rising again. Come over, she urged. And the moment he arrived, she embraced him, feeling that strange pull as something flowed from him into her. Afterward, Femi slept deeply, his breathing shallow. Amara watched him, horrified at the dark satisfaction coursing through her veins. What was she becoming? Tunde couldn't sleep. His mother's journal lay open on his desk, its pages filled with frantic writing. The hunger grows worse. I dream of feeding on my own child. God forgive me. I must break this curse before it's too late. The journal detailed a society of women who used blood magic to create parasitic bonds, entities that fed on human emotion, growing stronger with each generation. His mother had been one of them. She'd used the magic to bind his father, but when she discovered she was pregnant with Tunde, something changed. The parasite demanded the child's emotional essence, but she couldn't pay that price. She found a way out, a ritual to transfer the parasite back to the earth, but the cost was devastating. She could never love romantically again. And part of Tunde's emotional capacity was diminished before birth. This was why he struggled to express feelings, why relationships always felt academic to him. Tunde's phone rang, startling him. Professor Adiemi's name flashed on the screen. They know I gave you the journal, Adeyemi whispered. They're coming for me. The society, the line went dead. 2 months into her relationship with Femi, Amara missed her period. The pregnancy test confirmed what the hunger had already told her. There was new life growing inside her. But instead of joy, Amara felt ravenous anticipation. Her hands caressed her still flat stomach, sensing the pure, untapped emotional energy developing there. No, she whispered, horrified at her own thoughts. No, no, no. She fled to the bathroom, splashing cold water on her face. In the mirror, something moved behind her reflection. A shadow with too many limbs, too many hungry eyes. Amara screamed, but when she looked again, only her frightened face stared back. She had to end this, had to protect her child. But when she tried to throw away the remaining mixture from the ritual, her hands shook so violently she dropped the vial. When she attempted to call Femi to confess everything, her throat closed up, choking her words. Something inside her wouldn't let her stop. Desperate, she went to the one person who might understand, her friend who seemed to know everything, Tunde. Tunde found her huddled outside his apartment, shivering despite the warm night. Something's wrong with me, she sobbed. Something inside me. Tunde ushered her in, his apartment walls covered with research, photographs, news clippings, maps with red strings connecting them all. Amara froze when she saw her own photograph linked to Neka's, both connected to Mama Kosi's family tree. You've been studying us? Not at first, Tunde admitted. I was researching a pattern of emotional hollowing on men, but it led me to the Oshun Society and to you. He showed her his mother's journal, explained what he'd learned. The parasites weren't just feeding on men's emotions. They were growing, evolving, becoming hungrier with each generation. The final stage is feeding on your own bloodline, he explained quietly. That's why Mama Kosi keeps her son and grandchildren close. They're her ah, food source. Amara's hands flew to her stomach. My baby. We need to break the bond before the parasite attaches to your child, Tunde insisted. My mother found a way, but Adeyemi is gone, likely dead, and the journal only contains part of the ritual. Who would know the rest? Tunde's face hardened. My mother, but she hasn't spoken about this in 20 years. Tunde's mother lived in a small house on the outskirts of Ilesha, surrounded by protective charms. When she saw Amara, her eyes widened with recognition. You brought one of them here, she hissed at Tunde. She wants out, Mama, like you did. The old woman circled Amara, studying her. It's already feeding on you. And her hand hovered over Amara's stomach. Ah! They always want the children most. Please, Amara begged. I don't want to become like Mama Kosi. Tunde's mother laughed bitterly. Nobody does until the hunger takes over. She sighed. The ritual requires sacrifice, giving up what you most desire. I'll give anything, Amara promised. Will you? The child must go. The man's love must go. And your own capacity for romantic love diminished forever. Are you willing to live with half a heart? Amara's hands trembled. There must be another way. There isn't. Everything borrowed must be returned. I gave up your father's love, my romantic feelings. It broke me, but I kept my ability to love you, my son. Amara saw Tunde clearly then. His quiet strength born from his mother's sacrifice. I'll do it, she whispered. The ritual had to be performed during a lunar eclipse, when the boundaries between worlds thinned. They prepared in Tunde's mother's home, drawing symbols on the floor with white chalk. Amara fasted for 3 days, weakening the parasite's hold. As the eclipse approached, she felt it growing restless inside her, sensing her intention to break free. But the society sensed it too. The night of the eclipse, as they began the ritual, Ponding came at the door. Neka's voice called out, We know what you're planning, Amara. Open the door. Tunde's mother never paused in her preparations. They can't enter unless invited. The protective charms will hold. The pounding grew louder. More voices joined. The society members gathering outside. In the ritual circle, Amara knelt as Tunde's mother painted symbols on her forehead with white clay. Whatever happens, don't stop, the old woman warned. Once begun, the ritual must be completed, or the parasite will consume you entirely. She handed Amara a bitter mixture to drink, herbs and earth, the taste of roots and soil. Begin the invocation, she instructed. Amara's voice shook as she recited the words from the journal. What was borrowed, I return. What was stolen, I restore. What was bound, I release. Pain tore through her abdomen. The parasite fought back, clawing at her insides. Outside, the chanting grew louder. The protective charms on the windows began to smoke and crack. They are breaking through, Tunde warned. Focus, Amara, his mother commanded. Feel the parasite, name it, claim your power over it. Amara closed her eyes, visualizing the shadow creature inside her. I see you, she whispered. I name you thief, destroyer, devourer of love. The pain intensified. Blood soaked through her dress, the miscarriage beginning. The door splintered. Mama Kosi's voice rose above the others. Stop her! Tunde moved to block the doorway as his mother continued the ritual. Amara, you must complete the offering. Through tears of pain, Amara continued, I return what I took from Femi. I release him from my bond. She felt something tear inside her. Not physical, but deeper. The connection to Femi, severed. Mama Kosi burst into the room, her eyes wild, the shadow creature fully visible around her now. A writhing mass of darkness with too many limbs. You fool! She screamed at Amara. Do you know what they do to us if you break the covenant? The ancestors demand payment. Not the ancestors, Tunde's mother countered, parasites wearing their faces. Mama Kosi lunged forward, but Tunde intercepted her. Her nails raked his face, drawing blood. Complete it, Amara, he shouted. Amara's vision blurred. The room spun around her. The pain was unbearable now, but through it, she forced out the final words. I sacrifice my full heart, accepting half in return. I break the bond that feeds on others. I return you to the earth that bore you. A terrible scream filled the room. Not Amara's, but the parasite's. It tore from her body, a writhing shadow momentarily visible to everyone. Mama Kosi wailed as her own parasite responded, reaching towards Amara's with grasping limbs. No, it's mine, mine! Mama Kosi shrieked. Tunde's mother completed the ritual, drawing a final symbol in the earth collected from 7 graveyards. The ground beneath them trembled. A crack opened in the floor, and the parasites, Amaras and Mama Kosi's, were pulled downward, shrieking as they returned to the earth. Mama Kosi collapsed, suddenly looking every one of his 60 years, her skin sagging, her vitality gone. Neka and the other society members backed away in horror as their own parasites stirred uneasily within them. Amara lay bleeding on the floor, the miscarriage complete, her sacrifice accepted. She felt hollow, diminished, but free. 6 months later, Amara stood before a group of women in a community center. Some looked haunted, others determined. All bore the same mark on their inner wrists, the sign of those who had broken free from the society. The hunger never completely leaves, Amara explained, but it doesn't control us anymore. We learn to live with half hearts, but our half hearts are truly our own. After the meeting, Tunde waited outside. They walked together through the evening market, comfortable in shared silence. Their hands occasionally brushed not the passionate touch of borrowed love, but something quieter, steadier. Mama Kosi is recruiting again, Tunde said quietly. Younger girls this time, through social media. Amara nodded. She'd seen the signs. Beautiful young women suddenly rising to influence, their partners growing increasingly hollow-eyed. Then we'll keep fighting, she said, warning others about borrowed love. Neka approached them, her once perfect appearance now subdued. The ritual had partially worked for her, but after decades of feeding, her parasite had left permanent damage. There's a girl in my neighborhood, she said, 17. She's showing the signs. Amara took her hand. We'll help her. As they walked away, Amara caught her reflection in a shop window. For just a moment, She thought she saw a shadow pass behind her, a reminder that some hungers never truly die. But this time, she wasn't afraid. Heed this warning, African child. Some powers are not meant for borrowing. Some hungers can never be satisfied. Love taken is never love earned. What is borrowed must always, always be repaid. The Oshun society still walks among us, still whispers to the brokenhearted. But now you know the price of their magic. The question is, are you willing to pay it? What did you think of Amara's choice? Let us know below. If you enjoy tales of folklore, magic, and mythology from Africa and beyond, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories like this one. Click the notification bell so you don't miss our next tale. Thanks for watching.